Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope y'all are having a fantastic day whenever you have decided to click on this video. Despite the title of this video, I'm actually having a really great day. You might be surprised that I'm talking about this so soon into the video, so soon just generally speaking. I actually haven't even had my official beta blood test yet. No, with pretty much 100% certainty that I'm not pregnant. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. And I wanted to talk about it now so we could kind of get it out of the way, then I don't have to talk about it again. As you may remember or recall in last week's vlog, if you haven't seen that one, I'll link it in the description because I think that's kind of important for context. I started testing on day 3 actually. I think I might have said day 4, but I started testing on day 3. I didn't expect it to be positive on day 3, but after I kept testing day after day, I didn't see any hint of a positive, just had a feeling that this didn't work. And every single day that I tested, I cried. I felt terrible about it. I was so determined that I would be one of those people whose first embryo transfer just works and is a success because I just don't really have a ton of health problems. The reason that we're doing IVF in the first place is for male factor infertility. So it was really difficult to come to terms with that. And I think the best way that I can describe it, or the closest way that I can describe it emotionally, was kind of like Nugget passed away. Not necessarily to that level and that extreme, but it's the same sort of feeling of just helplessness and hopelessness, right? Like there's nothing I could have done differently, but I feel like something has been taken away from me that I can never get back. And that's awful. Like that is the worst feeling in the world. I think anyone who's dealt with infertility or miscarriage or loss, like you get that. You understand what that feels like. You know, I have dealt with hard emotions throughout this IVF process, but I won't lie, for the most part, a lot of those emotions have been kind of temporary because almost everything so far has worked out for me. I had very successful egg retrieval. I have 9 PGT tested normal embryos. I didn't get OHSS. I recovered beautifully. Everything has been great. And leading up to this embryo transfer too, it wasn't like I was borderline for anything. Like my numbers looked great for everything. When we were dealing with like embryo numbers, right? And like wondering how many we would get. There was one day that I had of sadness, and then the next day I was like, oh, I'm fine, right? Like, you know, I have these embryos. They just came a day late. For this, just like nothing ever happened. And that was fucking heartbreaking. I just really thought I was different, or I thought that I would be in the vast majority of people who end up having a successful first transfer, but I'm not. Like I said, I cried for 4 or 5 days straight. So I'm kind of not over it at this point, but I'm just such a pragmatic person. As much as this stings, and it's going to continue to sting, I'm not as emotionally gutted as I was, because I have a plan and I know what I want to do going forward, just how I want to handle things. Your first failure is always going to scar you for sure, and I think I'm going to be approaching the next transfer so much differently. Yeah, I have a game plan in place and I am feeling confident about that. I guess I can like kind of tell you what I'm thinking. Again, I haven't had my beta, which again I know is going to be negative, but I don't know like if my doctor is going to want to do tests or whatever. I would like to do another transfer pretty soon after we find out the results of this one. I just don't want a lot of time in between them, to be honest. I'm already in that mindset and kind of in that groove. I know what the medication's like and I've been through it. Like I know what it's like and I'm not expecting anything, to be honest. I think that going in with those sorts of expectations is good instead of putting all of my eggs in the this is gonna work basket. I think I want to do another one, and then if that doesn't work, which I'm expecting it won't, I know a lot of people have success within 3 transfers. I think it's like 95% of people will have success within 3 transfers. If for some reason the second one doesn't work out, which, you know, I'm going in with the expectation that it won't, just because I think that's healthier. I just want to focus on me after that. Like I had this epiphany that like, it's no surprise really, and I talked about it a couple of vlogs ago. I've not been taking care of myself in the way that I know that I need to, especially as I get older. You know, I don't want to be someone who was just constantly trying to get pregnant at the expense of my own mental and physical health. I matter too. As much as I want to be a mom, like I want to be a strong, confident, healthy, happy mom. I don't want to be someone who has constantly been pumping themselves full of drugs, eating like crap, and just feeling terrible all the time. That's not what I want for myself or my child. Like I don't want that. So you might say like, why don't you just do that now and then do another transfer later? I think everybody knows what's right for them. And for me, this is like, I think what is right for me. So yeah, that is my game plan. And I won't lie, like even thinking about the possibility of the second transfer not working, I'm literally not stressed about that, which is crazy. I'm actually in some ways like a little bit more excited for the prospect of treating myself well. And I will be honest with you, that was actually my initial game plan, was like, if my first transfer fails, I'm not going to do another one back to back. I'm just going to treat myself well and like get healthy and stuff. But I think after having gone through this one and it not even implant, I want to give it another try. You know, I feel like I got to give it another try. And if it doesn't work, then I think I should take that as the sign like, hey, it wasn't a fluke. You need to start treating yourself better. And who's to say that that's like not the reason that one didn't work? You know, it could have been a fluke. And maybe we'll do some testing, you know, between cycles. I don't really know, but I have a game plan and I feel really good about it. I was also thinking about like what I would do if this one doesn't work in terms of like other life plans, because, you know, if I did get pregnant this year, that kind of is my whole year. And it limits a lot of the things that I can do, but I've also told myself, or at least this is something that I came up with, if the second transfer doesn't work, and if I start treating myself really, really good, and I'm feeling super good and confident, I might want to go back to Disney. I joke about this a lot, or at least I've joked about it a couple times. I really would like to see infertility to Disney adult pipeline because I bet it is just fucking nuts. I just really love the idea of like going around Christmas time and like having a really good time, especially if this transfer doesn't work. And I think another thing, just generally speaking, that I want to say before we move on to the rest of the day, my life is really good and I love my life. I want a kid, and I know that my life won't feel complete unless I have a child, but I'm not even 30. I have plenty of time, and I'm pretty sure I just want one kid. So like, why am I pushing so hard to make this happen immediately? There's so much time. Like, I have so much time and I have so many amazing things in front of me right now and so much amazing freedom. Wrapping it all up is that this is hard, it sucks. I want to acknowledge those feelings, but I also want to say that it's okay and I'm moving on. A lot of time to process this. I've talked with Hayden, I've cried with Hayden. I woke up this morning in such a good mood. I ended up taking my last pregnancy test. Even after that, I was in such a good mood, and I'm just so excited for the week ahead and to just get back on track and get back to the things I love. For those days, like, it's not really 2 weeks, it's more like a week and a couple of days, I literally sat in bed and did nothing, which, hey, could have contributed to my lack of success, but I want to clean my house. I want to get out of the house. I want to do so many fun things. I especially want to like get some videos done. So I'm very much looking forward to this week. I'm excited to take you along with me. I still have not finished House of Earth and Blood, but I want to finish that probably sometime today or tomorrow. And then we can start in on House of Sky and Breath today, or today or tomorrow. I just really want to read that one this week. And I am really looking forward to moving on to the last book because I feel like I keep getting TikToks about this book. I would really like to read that one because I don't want to get spoiled for it. And I want to be able to have an opinion. I also have like a hot take that I want to share, and that might be my first TikTok. We'll see. I've been thinking more and more about like making short form content. Don't think I'm gonna start that this week or anything, but something I've been playing around with. I like mentioned it in one of my goals videos for the year. Like, I just want to kind of branch out and do some different things, but regardless, that's kind of my game plan reading wise. I might read some other romance in this video. I have 2 videos to post this week, both of which require like me reading 1 or 2 books for them. I think the first video I'm posting, I need to read a book and a half, and then the last video I'm posting, I just need to read 1 book. So I have plenty of time to do like fun things this week besides just House of Sky and Breath, but it is a long one, so we shall see what happens. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish my makeup, and then I will update you whenever. I never know when to update you after these first clips, you know? Is it like when I start reading something? Is it when I start doing something fun? I'm not sure, but I will be back. Hello, bestie friends. Happy Thursday. I told you that I would update you whenever I had something to say, and I do have something to say. I just wanted to like check in. Yesterday, I didn't check in because I didn't really do much of anything, and I got my official beta numbers back. This is mostly an IVF heavy update, by the way. When I got my beta number, which was 0, obviously, I was just like still kind of sad. I thought I had like fully gotten over it, and I didn't cry or anything, but feeling a little down yesterday, and I just like wasn't really feeling being in front of a camera. And then I had my consultation with my doctor this morning where we kind of went over what happened and what to do going forward. And I have to say, that was like one of the most reassuring and reaffirming appointments I've ever had with like a medical professional. It really like reaffirms my choice to use this doctor, which might seem like ironic, I guess, considering how I feel like my transfer went and like how the use of catheter was not really my favorite, but I really, really like my doctor and it was just so comforting. I don't really want to go into all of the details because I've kind of decided what I want to do going forward, but it's just really nice to hear like that I did nothing wrong and that like I didn't do anything to cause this, which is just exactly what you want to hear, obviously, after something like this happens. And I think that's the case no matter what your circumstance, but I think we really narrowed down what we believe to be the cause of the failure. We have a game plan in place, which just makes me feel so comforted. I know I talked about it yesterday that like I had my own game plan that I was like kind of going in with, and then after talking to my doctor, she totally agreed, was totally on board and supportive of it, and also just provided me with information that I needed to go confidently forth with my plan, which we are going to do another transfer. I know when, but y'all will not know when. It's relatively soon, but not as soon as you would maybe think. We're going to try another transfer, and if that one fails, I am going to take the rest of the year to really prioritize my mental and physical health, and then in the new year, we are going to try a natural cycle. That was something that we like kind of talked about maybe doing for like our next embryo transfer, but ultimately landed on doing the same protocol and just like hoping for different results, I guess, because we've identified what we think the problem is. Like, it doesn't really matter what the protocol is, but we can obviously give a different protocol a try in the 3rd cycle if this one doesn't work out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just feeling like really confident and really good about this, and I think this is like the good plan for us. But with that being said, I think I'm going to keep this second transfer to ourselves. It was really nice getting to share the first one, and I don't regret sharing it at all. all. I'm glad that I got to go through that with you, even if it wasn't like the most fun to watch, because I don't know, I'm all about sharing. But for this next one, I do just kind of want to keep it to myself. And I think because I'm going in with tempered expectations, I don't know, I want to treat it like it's an everyday thing, like it's normal, it's not a big deal, like if it doesn't work, no big deal, rather than like planning what my baby's due date is going to be, planning a nursery in my head and things like that. Like I don't want to go into this transfer with that mindset. I feel like we have a good plan in place going forward, and I'm so excited about it. Like I said last time, like I said like in the last clip, but you know, now having talked to my doctor, I feel even more confident about it. But you know, obviously when I'm pregnant, y'all will know. I will let you know. Maybe not immediately, but like I will let you know. I didn't know what to expect from that experience and like that consultation, but coming away from that feeling so good and so confident just has me like really excited for the next transfer regardless of outcome. So I feel like I have this like misplaced energy though now. Like I'm hyped up, I'm in a good mood, but I don't really know what to do next. And I think what I really ultimately need to do is finish this video I'm working on where I read your favorite books of 2023. I've decided to post that one before the romantasy one because it only requires me to read one book. But let me just tell you, One Dark Window is just not it for me. I don't like these historical dark feeling fantasies. Like they're just not really for me. So I'm like trying to trudge through that. But I also need to like find something else to read. I don't know if I'd like want to abandon my reread of Crescent City yet. I'm just like not really feeling it. So I think what I'm going to do is like try to figure out what I want to read. I also would like to go to Barnes & Noble either tonight in the next couple of days because I really want to buy Bride by Ellie Hazelwood's my book club pick for the month. And also I just like want to read it. And there's a couple of other new releases that released yesterday or Tuesday that I really want to pick up. So yeah. Hopefully I can like pick up the pace, the ambiance, the vibe of the vlog, because I feel like I've mostly just been talking about like I'm not pregnant and that sucks and I'm doing stuff for it, but I'm in a good mood. I'm feeling really good. Also, one other thing that I'm so hyped for. Okay, I have to mention it. We are getting delivery of our bench. We have been trying to get delivery of this fucking upholstered banquette in our living room or in our kitchen for like months, right? And we finally set a date and it is Valentine's Day. So what a treat. What a Valentine's treat for me. Little banquette in my dining room or kitchen because we don't have a dining room. I guess this is just becoming a chatty feelings vlog. I guess that's what this is becoming. Hello, happy Saturday. I got cut off when I was talking last time, but I think it was probably for the best because I was kind of rambling. And I'm not saying this isn't going to be rambly, but I wanted to check in because it's been a couple days since I've talked to you. One day, actually. I think I didn't update you yesterday. I did finish House of Earth and Blood. Everybody clap. Round of applause. I finished House of Earth and Blood. I didn't really talk to you yesterday because I feel like I was having a bit of a crisis. When am I not having a crisis? I just feel like this year has been off to a weird fucking start. It was very good, I think, ultimately. I don't know. Ever since getting laid off and like figuring out that YouTube is going to be my full-time thing for the foreseeable future, I've been feeling kind of weird about it and like wondering if I'm making a mistake and if I should be continuing on in like my 9-to-5 sort of like career path trajectory, because you know, you always, or at least I see on TikTok often these women talking about they regret giving up their job to be a stay-at-home mom because like their husband divorced them or because some circumstances come up and like you never regain your lost income, or I don't know. There's a lot of fear mongering and I understand it exists and I'm glad that information exists because I think women should be aware of their options and their situations. I'm not really in that situation. YouTube is not some glamorous career where I'm making millions or anything, but like I make a comfortable enough living, I guess you could say, where it's not like I'm bringing in no income and like would be fucked if I got divorced or something. But I was just having this like crisis and I was like, oh, like I started applying for some jobs and I talked to Hayden about it and we had like a heart to heart and talked about like our routine and our schedule and stuff. And I really think I narrowed down like what the problem is for me right now and why I'm feeling a little like all over the place and rudderless. And I think it's just because with IVF and like with some of the other stuff that we have going on in our lives, I just don't really have good routine. And I haven't really had a good routine in about a year or two, ever since my last 9-to-5 job. Like that job was so, I don't want to say hands off, but like just not super engaging. It didn't require me to like be online at certain hours, that I just never really got a good routine. And I am a routine ass bitch. Like I need that. I need to wake up at the same time every day, which I do anyway, but I need to get out of bed. I need to put makeup on. I need to like start my day. I need to just like have an actual schedule. And I think that's been my struggle since like making YouTube my full-time thing, is that every day looks completely different. And you know, you hear that as an advantage to like some people's jobs or whatever, their 9-to-5s, like every day looks different. But like, does it really? Like your tasks might look different, but like you wake up at the same time and like commute to work every day at the same time. You know what I mean? With this kind of job, it's just like you have to set your own schedule and you have to be pretty relentless on disciplining yourself. And that's kind of hard. Going from like a corporate environment to having to be in charge of yourself, holding yourself to like high standards can be pretty challenging, even if you're kind of like, I mean, I'm not type A, but if you're like a motivated individual, like it's still hard to, I guess, develop a routine. And Hayden also has a lot of flexibility in his schedule. He works from home. I think we were both kind of feeling similar, I guess, about the schedule schedule stuff, but like me more so to an extent. And so we like sat down and kind of talked about putting things in order and getting things together and like having a really good schedule set up for both of us. And I think that that actually kind of like assuaged some of my fears, and I'm feeling better, I guess, about being self-employed. Still unsure if I like want to maybe have a 9 to 5 again, or if I like want to do remote work in addition to YouTube. But I think at the moment I want to commit to what I set out to do, was to commit to YouTube for 6 full months. And then if I decide from there that like I really want to get a 9 to 5 again, then I will. Post embryo transfer fail, like mentee B, not a full mentee B, but talking to Hayden really helped. So it's mostly what yesterday was, and feeling better, feeling more confident today. I am feeling a little overwhelmed though. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna read all the books that I need to read. Okay, here's what I want to do. I need to read House of Sky and Breath. Like, I really want to read that in this vlog. I want to get that done. I want to move on to House of Flame and Shadow because my TikTok For You page is just like inundated with like spoilers and shit. Also have to read 2 books for my Romantasy video, which is supposed to go live tomorrow. And I don't think all of those things are going to work out so good because Romantasy books are fucking long. So I really need to figure out my game plan. And also, I would really like to clean my house because my house is still just kind of in disarray from transfer and after transfer. I'm not good at staying up on housework. I'm someone who like lets things get pretty bad and then cleans. Part of my schedule going forward is like a set amount of time every day clean the house, which I think is good, but I need to do a complete reset overhaul this weekend before we go into next week because I just can't stand it. It's bothering me. And when I say like I let things get bad, I don't like leave crusty food plates out. Like, that's not me, okay? But there's clothes on the floor in my bedroom, that sort of thing, which is also not great. I need to get that taken care of also. Baby boy, and baby boy, he's on the back of the chair. Get into something that's like not quite this sweaty, like maybe like not sweatpants and a sweatshirt since it's not cold outside. Get into a skimpier little outfit. I'm gonna put my headphones in. I'm gonna listen to House of Sky and Breath, and I'm gonna reset my house. Like, I was looking in our kitchen and I was like, why have there been the same 3 water bottles next to our sink for like 2 weeks? There's just no fucking reason for it. It's like stuff starts blending into the background when it's been there too long. We're gonna remedy that, okay?
Watching you was such a thrill. All that I could do was laugh. I couldn't hold it back. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't hold it back.
Alright, hello friends. I am here to put a little makeup on and talk to you about books. I know, shocking, surprising, she knows how to read. Let's just talk about the books that I'm reading. So House of Earth and Blood I finished last night because Hayden was out. He went hang out with some friends and I had to like fend for myself dinner-wise, which is not a big deal. I made a night of it. And while I was driving to and from a fast food establishment, I decided to finish House of Earth and Blood, and it was fairly entertaining because I finally had gotten to the fucking interesting part of that book. Here's the thing. I just feel like House of Earth and Blood specifically is not exciting. The majority of the book is just Hunt and Bryce running around trying to figure out who killed Danica, where this horn is, who summoned this demon, shit like that. And it's not like there's a lot of direction to the mystery, because here's the thing, I love a good mystery. Don't even mind problem solving or mystery solving in my fantasy romances, but I just feel like the way that it was handled in this book was so dull. I was really not attached to them solving this mystery, and I think that was, because of the way the book is plotted and paced, but also because of the lack of care that I have for Bryce or Danica or Hunt or really any of the characters. I'm surprised that so many people ride so hard for this series compared to some of Sarah J. Maas's other series, because I think what she really excels at is characterization. Whether you like her characters or not, they can be very divisive, but I really like that she knows her characters well and she gets you to know them well, and you can appreciate, personalities and their flaws and everything like that. I just feel like this series, the characters are so lackluster to me. I just don't understand Bryce's character motivations. I feel like I say that about a lot of books, but it is so crucial, and it is, I think, like the baseline of writing that an author needs to do. I need to like fully sympathize, empathize, understand why a character is doing something. That doesn't mean that I have to personally like want to do the same thing the character does, or I have to make the same kinds of decisions that the character would, but I need to understand why the character is making those decisions. Bryce and the way that Danica and like their relationship is handled, ultimately don't care that much about Danica. She dies so early on in the story that it's like not impactful. It's not like, I spoil the other Sarah J. Maas series here, but it's not like some of the other important character deaths that happen in Sarah J. Maas books. Like, I was really expecting, I wasn't really expecting much on this third go around. I was gonna say I was expecting more from this, but I wasn't really. Like, I knew what to expect because again, it's like a reread for me, but it doesn't get any more exciting the third time around. You'd think that it kind of would, honestly, or that I would like care more about Danica because I've read more of the books in the series and I like understand Danica's character more and all these things. But I don't. Again, she was pretty one-dimensional, is someone who I don't really understand. I mean, hell, I don't know if Bryce even understood Danica very well. I just think the characters kind of suck in this series. Hunt, I think, is by far the worst love interest, and I think I like nailed down why that is. I don't know if I've like said this specifically in a vlog before, but I think the problem here is that with the other like main relationships in Sarah J Maas books, there is a reason why we're so compelled, right? So in Throne of Glass, you've got Selena and Rowan and their relationship. Theirs is fascinating to me because they're both in a very dark place. They're both grieving, and that's why I think the comparisons are drawn between the relationship between Bryce and Hunt and the relationship between Selena and Rowan. But the interesting thing about the relationship between Selena and Rowan is this animosity that they have towards each other at the very beginning of the book. There's none of that in Crescent City. There's not really any reason for Bryce and Hunt to not like each other, except for the fact that he's an overbearing angel or whatever. Like, he's God, I don't even know what the word they use. Oh, alpha hole. I'm sorry, like that's not an interesting reason to keep two people apart. It doesn't have any like fun tension or stakes, whereas the relationship between Selena and Rowan, it's like, because of the things that he has been through, he's kind of a dick to her. You're like, wow, how is this going to turn into anything romantic? And somehow it does. Like, somehow Sarah J Maas is able to pull it off. And obviously the relationship between Farrah and Reese is like just this relationship that you don't really see coming because of the way that the first and second books in the series are kind of lined up. And again, there's an animosity there that makes it fun. And I'm not saying everything has to be like enemies to lovers, but it just wasn't really compelling. Plot-wise, the part that I finished yesterday, and obviously like I finished the book, was like the only action in the book. And that also just throws me off every time because I feel like there are too many crescendos of plotline in this book as well. You have this like big scene. Bryce is having this sort of showdown between her and Micah, and she finally kind of starts to understand the questions that we've had throughout the course of the book, like the mystery aspect. That's getting solved. And then I realized I still had an hour left in the book, and I was like, what the fuck? And you've got the whole plot line with demons from hell escaping. She has to defend the city, and then she does the drop, and then way too much that happens at the end of this book, and the plotting, again, and the pacing feels so fucking off. So it's like, it's so much more fun than the rest of the book, so I wasn't that mad at it. At the same time, it just like really makes you wonder why so much page time was spent on this mystery that wasn't very interesting or very well done. So I think if I were really to rate this book, it'd probably be like a 2-star. I think I'm gonna leave it at like 3 on Goodreads, but we can move on to talking about House of Sky and Breath. I have to say, I remember liking this one more, and I have to say I stand by that for the most part. I feel like this one definitely has more to it, and definitely has a decent pacing at the beginning of the book, right? Like, you start out, and there has been some passage of time between the events of the first Crescent City and the second, but we have Bryce and Hunt and their sort of like, what are we sort of relationship going on. You've got a guy coming into Bryce's life who's like, hey, we're actually betrothed. And she's like, what the fuck? We're not engaged. I don't know who you are. It's like Fae guy who is not a Valbaran Fae. He's a something or other Fae. He's got a Scottish accent, I can tell you that much. You've got the Thunderbird, little weather chicken. I believe that's who I called weather chicken last time I read this book, but at the beginning of the book we're introduced to this girl who has like abilities she shouldn't have. I think she's human, but like only half human or something like that. But we're trying to like look for this girl, and apparently because Danica's all-knowing and all-seeing, Danica had some sort of like contact with this person. Anyway, she's like in the prologue of the book, and we're presuming that she's dead, but her little brother's alive, but we're finding out maybe she's not dead. And that's kind of like what Therian, the mermaid guy, is like working on, and he brings this information to Bryce and Hunt. They're curious about what the fuck's going on, and they're involved in that. So like there's a few different things that are happening, and I'm definitely forgetting some of the things, but again, engagement, the will they won't they relationship between Bryce and Hunt, the search for the weather chicken, there's a lot going on. And I'm definitely like more invested, and it's like nice to return, I guess, to characters after like finishing that first book. So the first book is like you're getting to know everybody, and this one kind of feels like you're watching like the middle of a sitcom. You know what I mean? Like, you have gotten to know everybody, you know what to expect, and now you can like sit back and enjoy. And I'm kind of feeling that way about this one. It's not that this book is like spectacular, but obviously this is a really pivotal book in the series, and I definitely think it's better than House of Earth and Blood. I say that, I mean, like there's kind of a lull in the middle of this book, but so far kind of interested. Although I just really like wonder why all of these books have to have the same sort of like, no problem solving sort of like vibe to them. I just really prefer the quest style. Sarah J, I think she does a really good job with that. Characters go to different locations observations. I think that's also fun, which we experience in like the Throne of Glass series, even if that one's like not quite as questy, which it like kind of is. You know, there's different locations, there's different characters from different lands to meet. I just feel like so far we've kind of just been like stuck with the same people in the same place for so long. I honestly can't remember that much about this book except for the ending of it, so I'll be curious to see as I continue to read like if I have any other observations about this book and if I just like it upon reread. I feel like when I first read this book, I rated it 4 stars because I was so impressed with the ending. But then I like revised that on Goodreads to 2 stars, so we'll see what happens with this reread. I think my goal is to listen to a couple of more hours of the book because I think I actually can finish this in 2 days if I listen to 4 hours each day because it's an 8-hour audiobook for me at the speed that I listen to. We're not going to go into it, okay? 2 more hours tonight, basically. That gives me like plenty of time to read Assistant to the Villain, which is what I'm reading for my romantasy video right now. So yeah, I'm feeling like I actually can get the shit done that I need to get done. Hurricane Wars, though, that I don't know about. Like, that I don't know if I'll actually be able to get done in, like, a timely fashion tomorrow, but it's fine. I'm going to, I think, go and read in my office. I have, like, really neglected my office over the past little while, and I really would like to go up there. I'm gonna go upstairs and get to reading. Probably update y'all, like, later tonight when we're eating dinner. Hayden's talking mad shit.
Hey, well, you did it.
We just enjoyed an ever delightful feast at the Wendy's.
Enjoyed would be a strong...
Yeah.
That's a stretch.
Fried chicken nuggets were petrified. They were definitely fried and then kept under a heat lamp for probably many hours. Wasn't worth it. I'm gonna just say it. It wasn't worth it. Chicken nuggets weren't good enough to be worth it, but
My chicken crisper, my crispy chicken sandwich kind of tastes like they fried it in like what used to be a gas tank.
oh, yum.
Yeah.
So the oil was just like really fresh, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say fresh, I would say fragrant.
That big ass piece of lettuce was what was off-putting to me.
The lettuce was actually probably the best tasting part of that
Oh,
sandwich.
fuck. Nothing like fast food lettuce.
Nothing like it.
I just wanted to pop in and say, hey, I have been reading books. Also, my hair is not good. We're gonna not talk about that. It's greasy. I need to wash it. Project for tomorrow, though.
Sam, it's like, we just need to not, as long as we stay back, because like as soon as we move forward.
You can see the sheen and it's not good. I have been reading, I have been doing things. I've also been fucking around on TikTok. When I get back, I'm gonna be reading Assistant to the Villain, which is so fucking corny. I can't put into words.
Well, that makes one of us, like, doing stuff today.
Yeah, Hayden's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, brother.
I really just wanted to leave the house because I wanted a sweet treat. I attempted to get one yesterday and I was foiled.
What is our sweet treat gonna be today, by the way? You never really...
Probably ice cream, realistically.
Okay.
Because the cookies at Crumble are kind of... It's Super Bowl week, so like 2 of the cookie selections are Super Bowl flavors. And by that I mean they're literally the same fucking... It's like you can have dark chocolate cookie, you can have golden Oreo cookie, some icing, and that's it. And you know, I hear people bitch about Crumble, and I get it. I'm not like a ride or die Crumble stan. I think a lot of the cookies are shit, or I wouldn't want them. Every once in a while they got a fucking banger that I gotta get in on. Or sometimes I just really want the sweet taste.
I'm just really surprised that
cream
you
cheese
don't want the red velvet with the cream cheese icing.
So, sometimes I'm not really into it. It just depends on
okay.
It depends on the day. It depends on what I'm feeling. I'm not really feeling that right now. Cold sweet treat. Because it's not fucking cold here, if anyone was curious.
It's not hot. It's 60 degrees out.
I'm inside all the time. It's not like the cold's like creeping in, you know what I mean? It's like not cold enough to be cold inside is what I was telling Kate. I'm actually going to be switching our bedding from our down comforter to our quilt in fucking February because it's not cold here. And it's not gonna get cold here.
Alright, here's the thing. As soon as you do it, it's gonna get cold. Just like randomly.
I'm fucking fine with that. I don't give a shit at this point. I've been sweating like a goddamn hog at night.
I probably actually didn't sweat. I probably just pissed the bed.
Wait, does that ever happen to you?
Did I piss the bed?
No. But like, does this happen to y'all?
Like, have you ever like sweat so much that you woke up and you're like, did I piss?
Yes! I've never pissed the bed. I didn't piss the bed as a kid either. Not to brag, but I wasn't a bedwetter.
And like, not to get like too deep or too personal with it, you know?
Yeah.
But like, typically, I'm just wearing underwear to bed, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, or not really for some reason, but like, obviously, like, you're gonna sweat more where you have clothes, or feel like you sweated more wherever your clothes are there to kind of soak it up, and then you feel it, right? So especially in that regard, you're like, wow, did I soak these through?
Well, and for me in particular too, I think it's because like my lower half is always under the covers, and sometimes my upper half is not as much under the covers. It's always from like the fucking waist down that I'm sweating bad. And I'm like, did I pee? I didn't pee.
Time to break out the rubber sheets. We don't piss the bed, by the way, if you were wondering. not on purpose. I'm considering starting a channel.
He doesn't have content yet. He doesn't
I
know
don't have
what the fuck
content
he's
yet.
doing.
I gotta like plan content, and I gotta like film some content ahead of time, and I gotta learn how to like edit better because I want to do fun stuff, my content, and also that will allow me to do fun stuff with your content as well.
Yeah.
But it's just like there's things that I need to do. Keep an eye out because
He might be posting videos.
yeah, there might be some stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this specifically, like every once in a while. I don't want to say I regret making a book channel. I don't, because like what the fuck else would I talk about? Sometimes I watch like commentary or comedy channels and I'm like, fuck, like I wish I had done something where I don't have to read books for it, where I could just fucking clown and goof. Sometimes I have ideas like that and I just can't really act on it. So like I can live vicariously through Hayden. And
Yeah,
give
if
him
you
the
were wondering,
ideas.
that's what I don't want to like. My channel isn't going to be about
It's not gonna
anything
be
in
books.
specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like whatever I want to
Feel like doing,
Yeah. I don't plan on being like
Serious.
yeah.
He's not doing video essays.
Yeah.
This man doesn't have that many brain cells to rub together. He's gonna use the couple he does have to write funny jokes for all of you.
Well, they might be funny video essays. You don't know, okay? You've never unleashed me upon the world.
I
Know my true power, my true
am
strength.
Nervous about that. Just kidding. I think he's gonna have a good time. I think he's gonna be. If I help him, I think he'll be more successful than me. I hope he is.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would make sense, because, like, I don't help you for shit, so... Let's say that we're, like evenly matched, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm not really helping you, so you're, like, here, but if you helped me, then I should be even better, you know?
Yeah. I told him I would help him with the aesthetics, like the thumbnails and shit.
Hopefully, like, ideas and stuff, too.
Oh, I got a lot
Like,
of shit.
I'm not saying you should give me
stupid brain of mine.
all the ideas. I'm just saying, like, yeah, like, if you have any ideas, throw them my way.
Chandler's content farm. Hayden's just the figurehead. We're gonna go get some cream.
Assy style.
I'll talk to y'all.
What if we were, like, just drinking pints of heavy cream?
I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Hello, extremely sexy and beautiful friends. I just wanted to check in and say, hey, it's Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday to be exact. I am frantically exporting my romantasy video that I did finish, thank fuck. And I just wanted to pop in and say hey and let you know what we're doing today, which is watching the Super Bowl, having commentary on the Super Bowl, and listening to House of Sky and Breath. I do have a lot to read, a lot to listen to, but I think it'll provide nice relief. I'm sorry, I don't really care about Super Bowl commercials for the most part, so I'll probably be skipping those. I'll instead be listening to this book. And I would let you know how much longer I have, but I am actually logged out of my account because I had to switch back, listen to a book, but Hayden has the audiobook on his account for anyway. No matter, no one cares. I have little boys with me though. Do you want to see? Okay. Roll call. We got Teddy. We've got Binky. We've got two stinky boys up there. Pepper. Pigeon. What I'm a little bummed about though is that I would really like a sweet treat and Hayden refuses to go get a sweet treat. It's an extremely trying time for me. I really want some cupcakes. I want to like make cupcakes or like a cookie. And when I brought it up to Hayden, I said like, would you like a sweet treat? And he's like, yeah, are you gonna go get stuff? And I was like, no, are you gonna go get stuff? And he was like, no, I don't want a sweet treat. We'll see about that. We'll see what happens. I also have no fucking idea what we're eating for dinner. I just like want good Super Bowl vibes, you know, like some wings, like a little sweet treat. It's just us two, so we're not gonna have wings. At least we could do with a fucking sweet treat. This clip is completely unnecessary. I just wanted to say hey. Happy Sunday. I will be washing my hair today. Oh, also, fun fact, perioding. And I didn't have to share that information with you, but I am going to because, you know, maybe you are on your infertility journey and you're wondering what that's like. And got it last night around midnight. So about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Almost 4 days after discontinuing Pio. Heavy and crampy. So prepare yourself for that if you're going to have a embryo transfer and it fails. I'm hoping it doesn't fail for you, but if it does, expect that period to be really fine. You know, like in my diaper era. You can't tell because I'm wearing my sweatpants, but... All right, we're starting over, but we wanted to give our reactions to the halftime show. I guess Theo does too. Are you going to come give us your reactions?
No, he's gonna come chew on the microphone.
There were a lot of technical difficulties when we tried to film. Usher was the halftime performer, obviously, and Hayden's a huge Usher fan, so what are your thoughts?
I think it's going to be nearly impossible to top that halftime show for me. Like, that was #1 halftime show ever. I think Usher's one of the best performers alive today. That halftime show just really proved that, I think.
It's so funny because when you went upstairs just a second ago, I was looking at the reviews from other people, and a lot of people were like very negative about it.
About what is there to be negative about?
I mean, here's the thing. I love Usher and I liked it, but the audio really was pretty bad for a good portion of it. But I don't think it like showcased all that he put into the performance.
See, I disagree. Like, I mean, sure, maybe the mic could have been louder at some points, but like in comparison to, I think a lot of people forget what halftime shows were like even like 10 years ago. I've seen so many halftime shows that were like so bad audio quality wise, like, and not even audio quality wise, but like performance wise too. We're just like, oh man, maybe they shouldn't have put a mic on that person, you know?
That obviously wasn't the case with Usher. I just think that like at the beginning, for sure, it needed like a boost maybe on his mic. But other than that, like I really liked all the guest performances. I mean, I'm not an Alicia Keys fan, but I really love Ludacris. So for me, it was like,
oh yeah,
it was what it needed to be.
Before, when Lil Jon came on, I was like, wait, they have Lil Jon. If they have, I was like, first of all, I mean, they're gonna do yeah, right?
Yeah.
If Ludacris is here, I will cry.
He didn't cry, but we do love Ludacris. It's interesting though that you say you think this is the best one. It does have me thinking of like the other halftime performances. I think the only one I liked better was Beyonce. Beyonce fucking killed it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like I think like Usher and Beyonce probably equally, but I think hers was just a little better like of a performance. Also, she brought out like Destiny's Child. I mean, come on, and that was like the first time they had ever reunited too.
All right, but did Beyonce skate? No,
that's true.
Did she skate?
That was tight.
Did you know that Usher could skate?
No, but because
that was sick.
Actually, wait, I kind of feel like I maybe did know that.
I didn't.
I like I might have seen it in a video one time, but
you know, like maybe that makes me like not like a mega fan or something. But I didn't know the man had skating skills like that.
The game itself is fucking boring. Not like loving it. The score,
don't care.
The score is like 10-3. Like nothing's happening. I don't really care about the score of this game because I don't really care about either team. But I mean, obviously, I kind of want the Chiefs to win. Y'all, what are we doing? Pepper just got up there to like bop Teddy in the face.
Only in it for the halftime performance.
Yeah, and he'll be leaving after this. I did want to just update you on my thoughts and feelings on House of Sky and Breath real quick, which is to say, you know what, and I'll get you involved in this, Hayden, as a man, as a male, as a he.
I'm a man. I'm a male.
This was a sticking point for me when I read House of Sky and Breath last time, but the first time that they get together, the two main characters in Sarah J. Maas's House of Sky and Breath are going to get together for the first time. He starts eating her puss, after she's been working out. She's sweaty.
Yeah, he's trying to taste her dead.
I just like don't know that that's how I would want to like introduce you to me.
He just wants a little bit of seasoning. He wants to know the real you know?
I think he like says she tastes like, he said something in Starlight, I think is what he says, but to me it sounded like dust and Starlight. And dust sounds musk.
Nah, Starlight is definitely not what I would describe it as, you know?
That's fucked up. Are you saying I'm not a celestial delight?
But I wouldn't say you would taste like one.
After the gym? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't know this girl that he's talking about.
Maybe phase taste.
Don't knock it till you try it. That's all I'm saying.
I won't get that opportunity because, you know, not real people, but...
I'll try anything once.
It gets me every time. And I'm definitely not someone who is like... I feel like there's a very particular kind of person. And I don't think you're a bad person if you're this kind of person. But the kind of person that needs to be like Brazilian waxed, fresh shower, whatever, to like have any sort of like interactions. I'm not that person, but I don't think I would feel frisky after the gym or at the gym. They've been like waiting to have sex for like 5 months.
Oh yeah.
Into their relationship.
For the Lord.
I don't know that Jesus exists in the Sarah J. Maasiverse. Also, I think she's
Jesus
Jewish.
exists in every universe, okay? Why?
I don't understand.
Why does he like not care about anything at all until right now?
What time is it? Is it din time?
It is 7:50. Yes.
Yeah. It's like they're just begging for it. Look at them. Look at them. Oh, Bo Banker. All he wants is the weds. And hey, I guess that's what Hunt wants too, am I right? Happy Monday. I just finished House of Sky and Breath and I wanted to talk about it and close off the vlog. I know I said I was gonna like update y'all yesterday and whatever. The Super Bowl like went into overtime and that just didn't happen. We don't need to talk about it. It's fine. So I feel like I really haven't talked much about this book through this vlog except for yesterday when I bitched about the puss stank moment. But honestly, like the last part of this book I think is some of Sarah J. Maas's most fun and exciting writing, which I feel like is in direct contrast to House of Earth and Blood. I feel like the ending of that book is a little too chaotic for me. I feel like I wasn't expecting much when I read this book the first time, and then I was totally shocked and amazed kind of how she was able to pull things off. And if you don't want spoilers for this book, I would just recommend skipping to the next vlog because I'm definitely going to spoil the ending of this book. It's been out for a while, so I feel like, you know, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but just the like MCU sort of like aspect of it, I think it's like kind of fun and kind of iconic. And I feel like, you know, once you've gotten this far into your writing career, you can kind of do whatever the fuck you please. I'm just really curious to see how that plays out in the next book? Like, is it going to be something that I am interested in? Because what I've read in early reviews or just like kind of seen in passing, trying to avoid spoilers, but like, you know, what I've seen is that sort of like MCU crossover thing doesn't really impact the story much, and or there's like not much time spent in the ACOTAR universe, which is like kind of disappointing as someone who really likes ACOTAR. That's definitely my favorite Sarah J Maas series, although big shout outs to Throne of Glass because that series is great too. I mean, maybe she was like, hey, I'm creating this like world that no one cares about or that isn't that great, so maybe I'll just like introduce the ACOTAR characters here. But I really like this concept of like you've got these all-knowing beings who have been like siphoning off power from different worlds and stuff like that. I think it's really interesting. I guess I'm also curious to see how that impacts the ACOTAR world in like the next ACOTAR book. Doesn't have much of an impact on their world in this book. I mean, I say that, I don't know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure. So I'm wondering like how that will impact them going forward, or if we're just gonna like pretend that it doesn't matter. Because I could definitely see Sarah doing that just based on some things that like I feel like I'm seeing, but I just don't know how to feel about this series. Like, I don't really care about Hunt and Bryce, which is like tough since they're the main characters in the story. I do think that the side characters are really what saves these books. And a lot of people say that that's kind of the case with the last one too. Like, I really like the relationship between Rune and his like secret lady who like doesn't know who she is. I don't know, I find that to be compelling and interesting. And when we get the reveal in this book as to the identity of Rune's mate, Lydia, well, I say mate, I'm assuming they're gonna be mates. You know, a nice little twist. I assumed it would be something like that first time I read the book, but seeing it play out is kind of interesting. And I really like Ethan's character. I think he's interesting. Him wanting to save the Fenrir wolf that's like in one of those big tanks. That whole thing I think is very interesting, and one of the reasons I like this book, I don't know why, but I really think that the like mystics in the tanks are really interesting. Like, I just think that that conceptually is very interesting. But I want to see how that kind of like plays into just the rest of the story. I also like that the pits of hell and like the princes of hell are trying to fight against the Asteri. I don't know. I think they're like really interesting little nuggets in this book. I don't think it's like perfect, but it is a fun one. And I guess if I were to like revise my rating, I think I'd give this book 3 stars, because I think the first time I read it, I thought the middle part was boring and I thought it was worse than House of Earth and Blood. I don't think I agree with that. I think this is a solid like sophomore novel. I think I like it better than House of Earth and Blood. I think that's just like the Sarah J Maas thing. I think like her middle books tend to be really great. So it does have me a little wary and a little bit like nervous for the next one in the series, but I had a really good time with this one. I won't lie. Like, once I really got into it, and then of course I'm like blinded by the ending, I'm like actually excited to go into the next one for next week, aka this week. And I think I'm probably going to make that vlog very focused on House of Flame and Shadow, because to be frank with you, this week is not that exciting. I have a lot of like YouTube stuff to get done on the main channel, but not a lot of like life stuff that's super exciting. So I don't know that like it's gonna be very like lifestyle heavy. It's gonna be very House of Flame and Shadow heavy. But thank you so much for sticking around this entire time if you did. Obviously, this week has been an interesting one for me. The news that I got and the things that I'm dealing with, but I'm feeling really confident. And I said that, you know, 2 clips in a row, that I've just been feeling really confident, really good about my plan going forward. Actually, I have another appointment with my fertility clinic tomorrow. I'm going to discuss even more plan going forward and kind of like what we want to do for the next transfer. And I feel good. I feel really good. I will say too, I feel reaffirmed in my decision as well to not tell anyone, I guess, about the next transfer. And like, I'll probably talk about it like after it happens, like whether it's good or bad. But in the process, I like don't want to, because I will say it has been not my favorite having to like tell people that I'm not pregnant, especially since these vlogs come out later than you know, the events that occur. I think we're gonna be like 2 weeks behind basically. So when you see this vlog, it's not fresh for me anymore, for sure. Yeah, I've been getting like DMs from people who are close to me asking how it went. I'm just like, I'm pregnant. So it's such a mixed bag. It's like, I'm not totally over the emotions of what occurred. Like, I still definitely stings. Like, it's not perfect, but I'm so excited for the future. And I know no matter what happens, no matter what route we end up taking, I'm gonna be a fucking mom. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it on next vlog. I'm actually about to head to Trader Joe's. I'm excited to start out this new week, but thank you for spending this week with me. I love y'all so much, and I will see you in the next one.